welcome back to the Pravadi. My name is Kritika Mittal and today we are back with a new video. So today we are going to look at a very important video, very important part of our preparation. In this video, I have compiled the 15 hardest questions that I have seen on SAT Maths. Now remember, this is my analysis. It's based on what students ask me the most, the questions that I feel that the students are finding the hardest to solve, or maybe even if they're able to solve, they are getting them wrong for some reason, whatever reason that is. So today we are going to look at these 15 questions, how to easily solve them, how to get them the fastest way and the most accurate way to solve these questions. It's a compilation of questions across the topics. If you have any further doubts on the questions that I solved, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll try to reply to all of them. So let's begin. The first question that we're going to see here, it's a question that says that which expression is equivalent to the expression that they've given. Now, this question, you can say it's from linear equation, it's from quadratic, it's from polynomials in general. The conventional way to do it would be you take the LCM for the expression that they've given in the question, and then you try to simplify the numerator and put it in the terms of the options they have given. Perfect. Very good. No problem with that. But there is a better way to solve this. There is an easier way. There is a faster way to do this. What is that? I am interested in showing that today. What you can also do, rather than taking the LCM and then simplifying the expression and then putting it in the form of numerator they've given in the options, I can do one small thing. Since both of them are going to be equivalent, they should be true for all values of x and y. So what I am saying is, let's put x as 1. Let's put y as 1. Find out what the expression in the question is and compare to the expressions in the options. I feel it's faster, easier to do, and less avenues of making mistakes. We also want to see the options of doing questions. We also just want to see the methods that are less prone to mistakes, which I can do faster, of course, but which are less prone to me making mistakes in some calculations or some simplification here or there. So let's see what that gives us. If I put x as 1 and y as 1, the first term in the expression, this one, it becomes 13 over minus 7. Okay. The second term, it becomes, again, the numerator becomes minus 7, but the denominator now becomes 1 minus 8. That's minus 7 also. So what I'm getting here is 13 by minus 7 plus 1 basically. If I add them, I get 6 by minus 7. This is what I'm getting for the expression in the question. Let's see if any of the options give me the same expression, the same value. Let's evaluate. Let's start from the first option. If I'm putting x and y both as 1, the numerator becomes 1 plus 1 plus 4. So 6. Okay. What about the denominator? 1 minus 16 plus 64. No, not at all minus 7. So I can eliminate this. Second option, if I put 1 in the place of x and y, the numerator becomes 1 plus 9 plus 12. So that's 10 plus 12, 22. I don't think it's going to simplify to 6, but let's see. The denominator, it becomes 1 minus 8 plus 1 minus 8. So this is minus 16 plus 2 minus 14. No, I don't think so. No. Let's move to the next option. 1 plus 13 minus 8. So that's 6. Okay. What about the denominator? 1 minus 8. Also minus 7. This seems to be possible. Yes, this might be the correct answer after all. But I also need to check for D. If I'm getting 6 by minus 7 for two options, then I'll have to use something else to eliminate between these two, right? 50-50. So in D, if I put 1 for x and y, I get 1 plus 13 minus 8. Again 6. Oh, it's close. And for the denominator, but if I do that, I get 1 minus 16 plus 64. No way. So the correct option here is definitely C. It's easier to do, it's faster, of course, and it gives me the correct answer nonetheless. So this is an alternate strategy we can use to get to the answer faster, more accurate, and easier, less prone to mistakes. Yes, let's move to the next question. Let's see the next question now. This question, again, from quadratics, you can say, because when I get rid of the roots on both the sides, I am actually going to get a quadratic. This question can be most easily done, most conveniently done if I just put it on decimals. You can do it conventionally also, you can do it with pen and paper also, but again, this is what I keep telling all my students. This is not your school exam. Your teacher is not going to grade you how beautifully you've written the solution. You're not going to get any extra credit or extra marks for the effort you put and not using Desmos, right? SAT is a test of how well you do on maths, of course, but it's also a test of how fast you can do the math. No point of doing it yourself. Let's quickly go to Desmos and put this expression. So this question says x minus 2 whole square is 3x plus 34. I'm going to put it on Desmos. Let's see what Desmos is giving me. X minus 2 whole square is equal to x plus 34. I just got rid of the root on both the sides. Now I get two solutions, which is as expected. It's a quadratic. It's going to give me two roots, two solutions. One is minus 3.52 and the other one is 8.52. These are the two roots. What was the question asking me? Let's go again. Oh, it's 3x plus 34. I'm sorry. Let's put that. Now let's see the roots. The roots are minus 3 and 10. Okay, so I've got two values. I've got two values, minus 3 and 10. What are they asking me? They're asking smallest solution. Smallest solution, of course, it is minus 3. So the answer for this question is just minus 3. I can say the smallest solution for the equation, that's minus 3. Yes, easy. You can do it in 20 seconds. Just put it on Desmos, get the answer, see the smallest value, then be done with it. Next question, moving on. Now, this is one question from statistics, very famous, very nice, very logical question. Let's see what it says. There's a data set, it consists of 10 numbers that which are all less than 60. Now, 9 of those numbers they've given me here. And they're also saying that mean of these 9 integers is 42, which is given so that I can find the sum of these 9 integers. What is the sum of these 9 integers? After all, I can just say it's 9 into 42. If you do this, you're going to get 420 minus 42. So that's 380, 328. All right, 328 is the sum of these 9 integers. Now, what I need to find is I need to find the 10th number that is in the list, 10th, the missing number, the 10th number, so that I have two conditions. So that the mean of the whole data set is greater than 42, which means I want the sum of all the 10 numbers to be more than 420. Yes, only then it can be greater than 42. The mean can be greater than 42. Also, I want it to be an integer. Very important. I want the mean to be an integer. Mean needs to be an integer. Integer means no decimal. I don't want any decimal here. How will I get that? If there are 10 numbers and I want the mean to be an integer, which means I want the sum to be a multiple of 10. Does it make sense? Because I want the mean to be an integer, it means that I want the sum to be a multiple of then. Only then, when I divide it by 10, I'm going to get an integer, right? So I'm looking for a sum. Let me write it. I'm looking for a sum which is a multiple of 10. It means. Yes. Now they're asking me what is the value of the largest integer in data set A? What is the largest number I can add to this data set so that all these conditions are satisfied? Now, what can I add to 328, which gives me a number greater than 420 and also a multiple of 10? I am aiming for a number, let's say I want the mean to be 43, which means the sum should be 430, which means what can I add? What can I add to this data set then? If I want the sum to become 430, then I can add, oh, I think I've written the sum here wrong. Yes, it's 378. I'm sorry. I think I wrote it wrong. It's supposed to be 378. You can do 9 into 42. You get 378. What can I add to 378 so that I get 430? Of course, you can use Desmos, very extensively use Desmos. I am not, because I can do these calculations fast, but please use Desmos. So what can I add to 378 so that I get 430? My answer is 50. If I add 50 to 378, the sum becomes 430. The mean becomes an integer. I get 430. And then the mean is an integer. It's 43. And it's greater than 42. It's an integer. All the conditions are satisfied. Yes. So my answer is 52. And of course, it will be the largest integer in dataset A. because I don't see any number greater than 52 in this data set. Make sense? Okay, now let's look at the next question, the fourth question. This question, very commonly, mistakes are made on this question. I've seen students doing it entirely wrong. They will always tend to pay more money to the museum, right? Very, very common mistake of the students. Let's see it. All the questions of inequality, linear equations, where you have a different price for some people and a different price for other group of people. Pay attention to the words, pay attention to the keywords. See if they are giving you the price for additional person, or are they saying the price is for all the people. Okay, if this n is a total number, it's the total people in the group, or is it the additional number of people in the group, right? I'll also tell you what students do wrong on this question precisely. So let's first see how to solve this, then I'll tell you what mistakes student make and how they can get other options that they've given. So let's say some people they're visiting the museum. Some people visit the museum. Now the museum has a different strategy to charge people. How is that? For the first 25 people that come into the museum, they're charging $21 per person. $21 per person. How much money is that? How much money are they asking for? $525 in total for the first 25%. Now I have already paid for the first 25 people. I will not pay for them again, right? I will not pay for them again. So if when I've paid for the first 25 people, how many people are now left? If n people went to the museum, the tour had n people, the group had n people, how many people are left? N minus 25, for which I need to pay $14 each, which means I need to pay 14n minus $350. This is what I need to pay for the additional people, for the people who are left after the first 25 people. What is the total here? How much am I paying then? 14n, 525 minus 350, that's 175. That's option A. Option A is correct. Now what the students tend to do, they tend to pay over, like they always tend to pay extra. How? They will pay this 525 for the first 25 people, yes, and then they will pay $14 for all the n people. Always pay attention to the words of the question. If it says n is the additional number of people after the 25 people, then option B would have been correct. Since here n is the total number of people in the group, it's just going to be, I'm going to pay $14 for each person left after the first 25. So I'm going to do 14 times n minus 25. Option A is correct here, of course, and I hope you realize what you are doing wrong as well. Moving on, move to the next question. Oops. Let's see this. Now, this question, it's from similarity, very easy. Now, I tell this, I cannot emphasize this enough. I cannot tell you again and again whenever we get questions of geometry, triangles, circles, Pythagoras theorem, trigonometry, polygons, even solid geometry. Try to visualize it. Not in your mind. You're not that good at imagination. Okay, accept it. It's always better to draw it out. If you see it on the paper, if you see it on the exam, your mind works better. If it is able to see it, it will work quicker. Let's try that. Let's draw these. So they're saying there are two triangles, LMN and RST. I'm just assuming they're both acute angle triangles. It doesn't matter though. So these are my two triangles. Now it says angles L and R are both 60 degree. Okay, 60 degree, 60 degree. LN is 10, RT is 30. Okay, no problem. Since they're similar, this is okay. Which additional piece of information is sufficient to prove LMN is similar to RST? Okay, I want to prove they are similar. What are the rules of similarity? Let's first revise that. What are the rules of similarity? How can I prove two triangles are similar? I can do AA similarity. I can do SSS similarity, where I say that all the three sides are proportional to the three sides of the next triangle. And I can say SAS similarity. That is two sides and the angle between them. Two sides are proportional and the angle between them is equal. Right? Now let's check out the option. First option says MN is 7, ST is 7. No, because I want the sides to be proportional. Since I see these sides are in the proportion of 1:3, I want the other sides to follow the same proportion. They cannot be equal now. Then it says MN is 7, ST is 21. Very good, looks good. Most of the students will mark this correct, move on, and in the final find that it was wrong. Why is this wrong? Mn is 7 and St is 21 might be true. This I might say is true as a after effect of proving similarity. Right? This is a conclusion I could draw from the similarity, but this doesn't help me prove they're similar because I have no condition of similarity, no rule of similarity. That is ASS. As no, no. As is no rule of similarity. No, not for congruency also. Right? It has to be one of these three. It has to be AA, SSS, or SAS. MN and ST being proportional are satisfying none of these. Let's take the other option. Measure of angle M and S are 70 and 60, which means if this becomes 70 and this becomes 60, I don't think so. Because if this becomes 60, then this becomes an equilateral triangle, RST, right? And this does not. So I don't think that's correct also, right? Let's check out the last option. It's my last hope. So the last option says that the measure of angle M and P are 70 and 50. Okay, so they're saying this becomes 70 and this becomes 50. I think this might work because if this becomes 70, then angle N becomes 50. If this becomes 50, this becomes 70, and then all angles of triangle element become equal to triangle RST. I can use AA similarity and I can say they are all similar. The triangles are similar. So correct option is option B. It's not option B. Yes. Moving on. Again, this is a question from quadratics and combination of quadratics and a line solution of a parabola and a line. I want to find out, rather they've given that this parabola and this line, they intersect only once. Only once means that this line is a tangent to this parabola. Also, by looking at the equation of this parabola, I know that this parabola is going to look like this. It's concave down because the leading coefficient is negative. If a horizontal line is intersecting only once, it means it has to intersect at the vertex, right? Which means this line is C by 2. It means that whatever is the vertex of this parabola, the y-coordinate of the vertex of the parabola, that is going to be the value. Now, most of you at this point will be tempted to, do it yourself, right? Do it conventionally, do it algebraically, solve it on a pen and paper. But no, we need to save time. We need to use it very judicially. That's the only advantage we have, right? So what we are going to go, yes, we are going to go to Desmos. We're going to put this in Desmos and then see. So equation of my parabola they've given is y is equal to minus 2x square plus 2x. I hope I put this correctly. Minus 2x square plus 9x. Yes. So now I can see the vertex. The vertex, the y coordinate is 10.125. I can do it from here also directly. I can put the equation of 2y is equal to see the line that they've given precisely. And I'll add a slider for y. Let's not. So the vertex is 10.125, which means C by 2 is 10.125, which means, let me not put C actually, Desmos doesn't like other alphabets very much other than X and Y. So X by 2 is equal to 10.125, which means the value of C is going to be 20.25, which is the correct answer. The value of C is what they are asking. It's 20.25 or 81 by 4. Either of them you put, you get full marks, you get the correct answer. Yes. Moving on, let's quickly see the next question. Now again, they're saying there's a parabola which has a vertex this, it intersects the x-axis with 2 points. Again, very important. Visualize, try to draw it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this information that they've given on a xy plane since it's all happening on xy plane. So there is a parabola with the vertex 9, minus 14. This point is going to be in the fourth quadrant. So I put it here. This is the point 9, minus 14. Let's say. Now I don't know if this is the vertex. I don't know if it's concave up or if it's concave down. But they tell me that it intersects the x-axis at 2 points, which means it's definitely concave up. This is something how my parabola would look like. Now they're saying equation of the parabola can be written in this form. Yes, of course it can be. And then they're asking what is the value of a plus b plus c. Now, from this information, it seems impossible to get the values of A, B, and C because I have very little information. I've got only two numbers to be precise, right? It seems impossible to find three different constants from just this information. Luckily, I don't have to. I don't need to find the value of A, B, or C. I only need the value of A plus B plus C. Let's try to manipulate what I have. I have the equation of this parabola. If I look closely at these two, I realize if somehow I can manipulate this to get this. Yes, I can. I can just put x equal to 1. If I put x equal to 1 in the equation of the parabola, I in fact get A plus B plus C. What does it mean for me? It means that I am actually trying to find the value of the parabola when x is 1. So when x is 1, maybe here. Now, even then, I cannot find the exact value. I don't know. But always read the question with the options. The options help you as much as the knowledge that you already have. Look at the options. Minus 23, minus 29. They're all negative. Yeah, I see that. I also parabola and realize minus 14 is actually the minimum value that my parabola is achieving, right? It's not going beyond that. It's not going below that, which means whatever value my parabola has at any other point, it has to be more than minus 14. See the options. We realize there is only one value that is more than minus 14, which is option D, which is the correct answer for this question. So sometimes, logic saves you more than the maths does. All right. Anyway, let's move to the next question. Seems very easy, seems very simple, plain, straightforward, just using unitary method. What is the problem then? The problem is that you're not following the instructions precisely that you're asked to. I always tell you, read the last line of the question before you plug in your answers. I'll tell you what a classic mistake in this question will look like. What will students do? 1 gallon of paint covers 220 square feet. Okay. A room has a total wall area of W square feet, which means I need to find how much paint is needed for 1 square feet first. So they will say, okay, 1 square feet needs 1 by 220 gallon. Good enough. So far, so good. W square feet would need W by 220 gallon. Very good. Which equation represents amount of paint for the room? Oh, very nice. P is equal to W by 220. Option C, wrong. Gone. You didn't read it properly. You solved it. Very good. But you didn't read the last line. It's saying you need to paint the room twice. Twice means twice the paint, which is W by 220 into 2. W by 110. The correct option is option A. The answer is option A. If you don't keep this in mind, if you don't come back to the last line of the question always, you will make mistakes. You might make mistakes. We don't want that, right? That's what we are here to avoid. So let's keep that in mind. Always go back to the last line of the question before we plug in the answers. Moving on, let's see this. This is another very famous question, very nice question. And it tests a lot of concepts, right, that are there from quadratics that are there on SAT. And also we need to move fast, so we need to be careful about a lot of things. So they've given a quadratic function ax square plus 4x plus c, and they are saying the graph is a parabola which opens upwards. So I know if it opens upwards, that is its concave up, which is a, which means A is positive, A is greater than 0. And it has a vortex at the point h comma k, all right, h and k are constants. If k is negative means y coordinate of the vortex is negative, which means I can imagine putting my vortex in somewhere in third or fourth quadrant. Also, f of minus 9 is f of 3. Now, many students confuse that if these two values are equal, it means they're roots. They are not. They are not. See this parabola? Look at this parabola. Let's say these are the roots. But even though these are the roots, the value of the parabola is the same at so many points, right? It's the same for these 2 points also. It's the same for these 2 points also. And what do all these points give me? The midpoint of all these points give me the x coordinate of the vortex. Which means if I can find the midpoint of minus 9 and 3, I can get the value of h. What is it going to be? Minus 3. Yes. So now I know exactly where to place my vortex. Let's visualize this. I know that the x coordinate of the vortex is -3. I know the y coordinate is negative, which means I can place the vortex in the third quadrant. And then I know it opens upwards. So I know it's something like this, right? Maybe. And then I can also find the vortex from the equation. I can say the vortex is minus b by 2a. This is supposed to be -3. From where I can actually find the value of a. I can say a is 2 by 3. So they're saying, is a greater than equal to 1? No, it's not. I don't think it is. Then they're saying, is c less than 0? C means the y-intercept. Do you think c is going to be less than 0? No, I don't think so. Right? Because why not? Because since the vortex is here, -3 comma k, I can also find the value of c from here now. So because I have a lot of information, but I can also draw a conclusion. Right? Because the parabola is opening upwards, most probably it's y-intercept, it's going to be positive, right? So none of these are correct. The correct option is option D. Makes sense? Moving on, let's move to the next question. Let's quickly see the other questions as well. One of the factors of this is x plus b. What is the smallest possible value of b? All right, very interesting question, very nice question. Okay, let's see. I know that this is supposed to have three factors. I know one of the factors. I also know it's a positive number. So they're asking me what is the smallest possible value. What do we know from the factor theorem? If x plus b is a factor, I know that x equal to minus b is a root. Correct? Which means in place of x, if I put minus b, the equation, the value of the complete thing, it should become 0. Which basically just means that they are asking me the roots of this cubic, isn't it? I just need to find the roots of this cubic, and whatever is the smallest root, that would be my answer. What does it remind me of? Yes, Desmos. Let's go to Desmos. Let's put it there. Let's quickly put this on Desmos. 2x cube plus 42x square. Oh, I'm so bad at remembering these things. What was it? Plus 208x. Here we go. Let's see the roots. So I see one of the roots is -13, then it's -8, then it's 0, 0. These are the three roots. One of the factors is x plus b, where b is a positive constant. What is the smallest possible value of b? So the roots are -13, -8, and 0. Let's get back to the question. The roots for this that I've got are -13, -8, and 0, which means the factors would be x plus 13, x plus 8, and x. Now, what is the smallest possible value of b? Most of you would be tempted to say 13. But no, that's not correct. That's wrong. The answer for this is 8. I am not asking for the smallest root. I am saying when the roots are put as factors, then what could be the smallest value here? Yes. So it is 8. Some of you now will come up with the doubt and say, this one has got x plus 0. So why not 0? 0 is always smaller than 8. Yes, it is. But it's not a positive constant. B needs to be a positive constant. The only number that is smallest out of 0, 8, and 13 and is also positive and is also constant, it's only 8. So my answer is going to be 8 and not 0 and not 13. All right. I hope it's clear. Moving on, let's see the next question. Very nice question. I mean, iconic question from solid geometry. I would say we don't see a lot of questions from solid geometry because most of them are just using the formula and finding the solutions. This one's very nice. It says that there are two rectangular prisms. Rectangular prisms are basically just cuboids. So two rectangular prisms are there. They're identical. The surface area of one of them is K. And then when they combine two of them, like they join two of them, then the surface area, it becomes something else, which is 92 by 47K. I want you to find the base length, edge, one base edge. Now, let's first see what's going on here. Let's try to visualize it. So this is my prism. Let's say the original prism, the OG, yes. It has got a square base. All right. So square base, let me say A and A. It has got a height of 90. So I will say this is 90. The height is 90 for this prism. Okay. Now let's write the surface area for this prism first of all. The surface area of a prism, the formula that we know or logically also you can derive, it's 2 times the areas of opposite surfaces. So I'm going to get 2 times A square plus 90A plus 90A, which if you want, you can simplify a little bit and say K is 2A square plus 360A. This is the surface area of one of the prism. Now, what are we doing? Now, somebody comes and they stick 2 of these cuboids, 2 of these rectangular prisms from the base, right? And they make one big cuboid, right? One big of the same thing. So, how is it going to look like? I mean, really doesn't matter because that's not what they're going to ask you. But I think it will become easier for you to understand the strategy and do it yourself when you see it on SAT. My drawing is not really very good, guys, so please bear with me. I think this is as clear as it could be. Right. So this is now how the new prism is going to look like, and it's going to have a height of 180 now. Now let's try and write its surface area. Same thing, same formula. So I'm going to write 2 times A square plus 180A plus 180A. This they are saying is 92 by 47K, which means I can say this is 92 by 47K. This is my working equation now. I've got 2 equations in 2 variables, K and A. Very easy to solve. I'll use Desmos. I'll put both of them on Desmos and get my answer. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put these 2 equations in terms of y-index and try to find their intersection point, because we're talking about really large values, really large A, really large K. What I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute this value of K here and make a single equation in only A. So what I'm going to actually write is 92 by 47 times 2A square plus 360A is equal to 2 times A square plus 360A. And I'm going to solve this. I'm going to put this on Desmos and solve for it. Again, Desmos doesn't know ABC. It only knows X and Y. So I'm going to put it in X, solve it. When you do that, you will realize you get the value of A as 8. 8 is my answer. 8 is the correct answer here. I hope it's clear. Moving on. Let's see this question. Now, this seems very easy. Again, most of the students will just look at it, mark the answer, move on, realize later it was wrong. Right? Let's see what's wrong. What's so wrong with this question? Why is it such a problematic thing? They've given you a line and then they're saying that there is a point with the coordinates 3, 4 that lies on the line. This simply asking what is the value of D. What's wrong with it? What could really go wrong? I just, need to see what is the value of this line when y is 4. Simple enough. I see it's something between 3 and 4. I look at the first option. Oh, 7 by 2. Yes, come on, of course. But dear, look at the other options also. You will realize that all the options that are being given here are 3 point something. This is 3.5. This is 3.7. This is 3.4. This is 3.3. Not my point. My point is all of them are 3 point something, and I don't know, by looking at the graph, I can't say what is the exact value. Most common mistake students make is they look at the first option, never move to the next options, right? And then they'll say, yeah, and move on. So then how do I do this if I cannot look at it from the graph? How do you suggest we do it? What do we do about it? We can find the equation, right? I have 2 points. I know the y-intercept is 7. I know the x-intercept is 8. I can put these and find the equation and then find the value in y is 4. I am going to use Desmos. I'm also going to show you how to find the equations of lines using Desmos. So it's like 1 arrow and 2, what do you say? 2, I don't know. Okay, so I go to Desmos. Oh, let me remove the annotation. I go to Desmos. I put a table. I can simply type a table, or I can also use it from the plus symbol here. I'm going to put the points. The points are 8, 0 and 0, 7. So 8, 0, Those are the two intercepts that I have, 0, 7. I'm simply going to do a regression, linear regression. I get the line, the exact same line that they've given us. Now, what do I want to do? I want to find the equation of this line when y is equal to 4. So, okay, y is equal to 4. I get the point of intersection. It's 3.42. I still don't want to do any hard work, I don't want to see which fraction this is. I'm going to put it here and I'm going to do this. It gives, okay, so useless. So anyway, I've got my answer as 3.42. Now I can go back to the question and see which option is giving me 3.42. So I think out of these options, the first one was giving me 3.5. If I do 26 by 7, I am going to get 3.7 something. If I do 24 by 7, it's going to give me 3.4. Yeah, I think this one's the one. And if I do this, I'm going to get 3.3 something. So I want 3.42. It's option C. Correct answer, option C. I hope it's clear. I hope it makes sense. If you have any doubts, of course, always leave them in the comments. Okay, let's see the next question. The graph of 9x minus 10y is translated down 4 units. What is the x-coordinate of the x-intercept? Seems very easy, very doable. Of course it is. We can always do it on Desmos, right? Easy to do. I'll show you first how to do this for those of you who don't, and for those of you who do know how to do it, I'll tell you what are the avenues of mistake in this question, what might go wrong when you're putting the answer. First, let's put the equation of the line 9x minus 10y is equal to 19. 9x minus 10y is equal to 19. This is my line. Now I want to translate it down by 4 units. How do I do that? To translate this line down by 4 units, I want its y-intercept, which is right now minus 1.9. I want its y-intercept to be minus 5.9. Correct? So I am going to make the equation and I want the slope to be same. So I keep this the same. Since then I want it to be 5.9. This is what the translated line translated down by 4 units look like. How did I get this? I'll maybe teach in a separate video. Now they're asking what is the x-coordinate of the resulting line. It's 6.55556. It's a never-ending fraction, basically. What could go wrong in this question is not how you solve it or not the answer that you get, but the way you put your answer in. On Desmos, in free response questions, you have got the liberty to use 5 characters to put your answer. Now, some of you, what you might do is, you might say the answer is 6.55. Some of you might say the answer is 6.56. Wrong again. These will be marked wrong. So then what do I put? What is the answer? If you're getting a recurring decimal, if you are getting something like that, if you can use fractions, use fractions. You cannot go wrong with fractions, right? Fractions, they cannot disregard. If you're using decimals, be very accurate. Try to include the maximum information in these 5 characters, the maximum that you can. In this particular case, how I would put it, what I should write 6.556. 5 characters, includes as much information as I can. They will not deduct marks. This is the correct answer. These are wrong answers, guys. If I put them, I lose marks. I do not get any marks for these questions. Quickly moving to the next question. Very easy again, seems very easy. Let's quickly do it. Let's see this. The first term of a sequence is 9, which means whenever I see the initial value, that is when n is 1. First term means when n is 1, not when n is 0. Okay, very important. This is not initial term, it's the first term. This is not initial value, which most of you confuse it with. After that, each term is 4 times the preceding term, which means, first of all, what I need to find is when I put n as 1, which options are giving me 9? Not the first one, not the second one, only option D, only option D. Also, when I keep increasing n, the terms keep increasing by 4, right? They are all multiplied by 4. For example, when I put n as 1, this gives me 9. When I put n as 2, this gives me 9 into 4. When I put n as 3, it gives me 9 into 4 square, and so on. The only doubt, the only mistake students make here is they will select option C. If it said initial value is 9, then this was correct. But since it says first term is 9, it means when n is 1, it's supposed to be 9, which is why option D is correct and not C. I hope it's clear. I hope it makes sense. Coming to the last question, to the end of it, let's quickly see this also. Again, since as soon as I see, sides, the word triangles, some angles, anything, I'm going to go and draw it. The side lengths of triangle RST are given. Now, why am I drawing a right angle triangle? How do I even know that? From the sides. From the sides, I know that this is a right angle triangle. Right. So, TR is the hypotenuse, of course, it's the longest side, which means this is S. RS is 20, ST is 48, and TR is 52. That's the hypotenuse. And then there is another triangle which is similar to this, UVW. Okay, I'm not drawing it since it's similar, so I'm not drawing it. And S corresponds to V, that we know from the name, right? S should correspond to V, R to U, T to W. I know that. They are asking me what is the value of tan W. Now, you would say they've not given us what is the ratio, right? We don't know how much proportion are the sides of UVW to. I ask you, do we really need that? If the angles are equal, wherever I put a 40-degree angle in whichever triangle in the world, isn't tan 40 going to be the same? It is, right? So whatever is the value of tan W, isn't it going to be the same as tan T? Since W is equal to T, tan T is going to be the same as tan W. Let's see what tan T is. Tan T, this is tan T. So opposite over adjacent. I can simplify this. I can cancel this by 4, which gives me 5 by 12, which is option B. Option B is correct here. All right, that covers all of it. That was my compilation of the hardest 15 questions that I found, the questions that my students have asked me. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions that you feel are harder than this and I didn't cover them, feel free to attach them in the comments or send them on our mail ID or on the different channels that we've given you to get in touch with us. Keep preparing, keep watching the Prep Buddy. Don't forget to subscribe and keep getting in touch if you have any more doubts, any questions. Keep watching the Prep Buddy for more videos, and if you find it helpful, do let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.